Give some really cool Spawn news. Like Spawn 250 is approaching, and then we're doing something called Spawn Resurrection. Tell me about that.
Well, we got 250, big anniversary issue. I mean, a lot of comic books don't get there.
Yeah.
There's only
20 years over.
Yeah.
Plus.
So this is only the second.
Big deal, yeah.
There's only the second. Yeah. No, it was a big deal. It took a lot of years. But people have been sort of bugging in the industry. People have been renumbering their books. I don't know why. They think that you have to have a number 1 on it to jump onto the book. It seems like an odd thing to me, but I go, no, I'm not going to renumber the book. But if people need that as a helpful hand, then we're going to go issue 250, do Spawn Resurrection number 1 with the new writer-artist team, and then that new creative team then jumps back the next month into Spawn 251, and we're off to the races to get to 300. The longest running independent comic book was Cerebus at 300 issues. And so in my brain, I go, I got to get to at least
almost there.
I got to get to 301 at least, right? set the record and we'll get there. So
sure.
Paul Jenkins, an Eisner winning writer.
Of Inhumans fame.
Yeah, and did the Inhumans, and actually did some Spawn work for me years and years ago. But he's going to team up with John Boy Myers, who's got this really cool, sort of almost classic superhero artwork, which is a departure from what we've been doing for the last 4 or 5 years on the book. And they're fast friends, so they're, like school kids, bouncing ideas back and forth. They've got the first 2 years already in their brain.
Oh, incredible, okay.
And they're doing that. So between that book and then I've got another miniseries that we're working on that I'll announce later in the year.
Ooh,
but
tease.
We've got,
okay.
I somewhere along the line, I just don't want to be a figurehead at my own company.
Yeah.
I need to also show the young kids that dad can still go out there and we can put out books and bring some stories to the forefront too.
Yeah, you got to show up all these young guns.
Right. They are. They're awesome. They're awesome.
Very cool. And during the Image Expo, when you made the announcement, you were talking about how like Al Simmons, he doesn't want to be Spawn, so he's like fighting against it, but now he's taking charge.
Right. So again, one of the things that I did was at issue 185. The Al Simmons character takes himself out of the equation, and then I had this new character, Jim Downing, who was wearing the costume, right? But now in 250, which is why the name Spawn Resurrection for issue number 1, is Al's back. But again, as I told Paul, I want him to come back as a mature, sort of smarter. He now understands. Before he was sort of trying to deny everything that was coming at him. Now he's going to embrace it and basically turn it on them. So in its simplest form, for 185 issues, he was just saying, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. But now what's going to happen is he's going to take the offense and he's going to make other people go, Al, leave us alone, right? So he wants them to feel what it was like of going, you hunted me and I'm going to now hunt you. So.
Very cool, very cool. And one more thing before we go, I have to ask, do you have any update or anything you want to tell us about the Spawn animated series?
Yeah, again, we've got some people working behind the scenes on that. I mean, short of finding a studio, which would be the next sort of big piece, we've got the story, we've recorded a bunch of the voices, we've got, all the background. I mean, it's all there, we're just trying to find the appropriate studio that will bring sort of a 2010 plus forward technology to the animation. I don't want to do standard cell animation. I think there's technology that will make it. You can do some really cool stuff right now.
Cool, very cool. And is this going to be like a Spawn origin story? Is it going to start like he's already Spawn? Or?
Yeah, the animation. No. It'd have a little bit of a wink to the 3 seasons on HBO.
Okay.
So for those that sort of watched it or collected some of those DVDs. Then
I had to sneak onto my parents' HBO, like on the TV, to watch that when I was a kid.
Right, yeah, because it had all the warnings on it,
yeah.
Right? But so there would be a little bit of a wink to say something used to exist, it went dormant, but now it's back, and the shadows are moving again, and then you sort of pick it up and you go, oh, okay, this is not a direct continuation, but I'm not saying that HBO didn't exist, if you will. So.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you so much, Todd.
Yeah,
Appreciate
sure.
it.
Yeah.
And so for all things Savior and Spawn, keep it locked to IGN.